I knew I would forget something. So I knew I would forget something. And that thing was that I needed to be able to speak. That was what it was. So hello, first time. First time. Let me pop out this chat. First time doing YouTube during the day for a miniature painting stream. Bit worried about it, a bit nervous because it's the first time we've done it. And, you know, it's going to be interesting, but I've got some interesting stuff to paint with you. So I hope you're looking forward to it. What is going on with the brightness here? Look at this. What's that all about? All right, mate, calm down. We want to paint something, but we want to be able to see it. You know, you don't want to be like, you don't want to be blinded by it. Yeah, hello, welcome everyone. I hope that you are having. I've missed you. Hey, Lieberling, how you doing? I've missed you lot. Obviously today, first time away from YouTube. Hey, Dead Toothbrush. First time away from sorry, not from YouTube, from Twitch. Now, this was, you weren't hearing that, so there you go. That's, you should be able to hear that now. Let's get that out to a level that's reasonable. Yeah, first away from Twitch during the day. I did try over here with some like ambient painting streams, but I found that it wasn't as exciting. Like, it was just a bit quiet. So now it's a little different. You almost feel that, but you get higher quality. That was it. Is that I think you probably are seeing everything in a slightly higher quality at the moment. And there's, how many YouTube accounts do you have? 2. I have 2, 3 maybe. I don't know. I've got one for like, I've got one that I had, and we can like the video right here in the live stream. Yeah, exactly, and I love that. I had one from comedy, like I have one from comedy. Do you know what, the blooming face cam's really small. I had one from comedy, and then I had another one from a long time ago. So like my original one for comedy was like years and years and years and years ago. I've got that, and that's got 400 and something on it. And then I've got like this one and a gaming one. But this one is from, it's just for painting. That's all I ever wanted it to. I'm just gonna, so this is a bit like, this camera thing is a bit useless at the moment. So I'm just gonna try and make it a little bit more useful. Give me a sec. Let's see if I can do it. Is that too much? Just too much face? I don't know. That's too much face. We're just I'm just trying to make it right. This is what happens when you do a first stream, though. This is the kind of thing that happens when you do a first stream. You just like, yeah, this is going well. Yeah, there you go. Let's have a little bit more body than just my big face. There you go. We'll have it like that. I mean, nothing wrong with my big face. I've got nothing against it. It's served me well so far. But there you go. We'll have that there. But you probably want to see me when I'm doing this, rather than just like just the thing. Let me move the chat over to by the camera, and then I can pop this back in. What we get rid of that. Don't need that. There you go. Right, so I can see how many people are watching and stuff. That's great. But at the same time, I know that I've got you, Dead Toothbrush, and I've got you, Lieberling, here. Hello, thank you very much for joining me. I am very appreciative. And these... So, I'll tell you the real reason I'm here, and then we'll get to painting something. We're going to paint something quite interesting. So, I've been doing a little project. Oh, hello, where are you? Where I want to see if I can scale up. Hey, Food Leech. I'm hoping to, Food Leech. Hello, Goat, you're a new chatter. Yeah, so I got this little tiny Imperial Guardsman, and I love him so much that I scaled him up. And I thought this might be a nice way to paint on stream. Like, these are tiny and hard to paint, and I'll make videos about doing small ones, but we can do bigger ones here. And I've got something really cool to show you in a second. Give me 1 second, I'll show you something really cool. So we'll leave him there for now so people to see. So on, I'll just hold him. On Twitch, I find the mentality's a bit different, and I'm like, I've changed as well. Like, Twitch is where I grew and I got bigger, but I found that Twitch is kind of struggling, and I don't like some of the changes. But also, on a more positive note, here people come in to watch people paint and enjoy the painting and enjoy the thing, whereas I find on Twitch people come in to like mess with you, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna make like do this thing, and I want to make it more about the hobby. So I'll probably go back to Twitch, but for now we're going to try August in August here and see how it goes, because August is a quiet month anyway, and we'll see how it goes. And if it's good, it will stay here, and if it's not, we won't. And like you said, Dead Toothbrush, you can like the video, you can share this video, and then it's kept live so people can come in and be like, oh yeah. And also, when it says it's kept live, I edit it beforehand so that then the only bits that are left in it are like the painting bits. And I really like that. And that means that you can be like, people can come back in the future and be like, right, he painted this Imperial Guardsman. I want to see how he did it. This seems like a really good, here's a place, and it will still be searchable. And like now we're very discoverable. Who come in to sell art packs. Exactly. You don't get loads of bots asking me if I want to be famous, because it's just not. So there are a couple of changes. It's very basic. You should be able to hear a very quiet, actually, lo-fi playlist, because YouTube is a bit weird about copyright. And by weird, I mean they're actually like all over it. So we won't have we won't be able to have like other music, but we will have a better quality. And let me show you this. This is my because of that I have to not have like, I can't have like things jumping all over the place that have people's picture on it. So I can't have like Transformers and things like that. I can't have that, even though I've got, that's what I'm wearing at the moment, a Transformers t-shirt. But when you do a when people buy me coffee now, let me show you. So if people buy me coffee now, instead of like all the man coming up and talking, which was kind of janky, it now just does a lovely little clean blue, like
Someone
that.
tipped me through
right
with a message. I can't believe it's
there you
not
go.
a test.
That's very loud. Let me just turn that down a bit, and make sure that I can hear it, because I can't hear that, which is useless. I could see it happening, but I couldn't hear it. So that tells me that tells me everything. There you go. So now I can hear it. So like, yeah. So it will just go like, where is it? Go.
Someone tipped me 3 with a message.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. And so many pros and cons. I'm still making my mind up. Yeah, but Ratty can pick you right after you about that. Yeah, so I think it's this. I'm gonna have the same. There's gonna be some like good things about YouTube and some good things about Twitch. I love Twitch as a concept, but I discovered more and more how to that I was watching YouTube over Twitch, and I felt like it was a bit weird me being over on Twitch when I was here most of the time. So I thought I'll just chill out here. We'll see how it goes, and because it doesn't matter, I'm not doing it for like money or anything. This is my job, but I'm not. It's not like I'm getting wealthy off it. I thought we'll try new things and see if it works. Do tell me if the music's too low or too high or whatever. But I'm going to show techniques. I'm going to show things. It's been nearly a year now of me painting, and I'm going to start doing stuff and showing you how I do things so that you can learn how to do the same things. And if you're just here to chill out, then that's cool too. But I want to show you something really cool. If you're part of our Discord, you'll have seen it. But if you're not part of our Discord, you won't. Today, so I can show you things. Hang on. I can show you things. That's the first thing. This will do. So let's have a little background. It's good to have a little bit of a story. We like a story. Hang on, mate. Oh, that's my arm. Right. Have a little story. Go up like that. Right, watch this. Look, there you go. We've got that there. Boom. There you go. So this is a Wood Elf Dragon from way back when, 1997. I love very much. It was one of the reasons I got into Warhammer and started to play Warhammer and paint Warhammer, and that's a Golden Demon winner. That one, 1997, Golden Demon winner, and I suspect it's because of that gold leaf all over the claws and stuff. But the light on my camera is really dark. It's because of the slightly higher quality. Hang on, means that I have to. The camera actually has to see me. Oh my god, really? So that's what I've always wanted one of those. They were always too expensive. They were like 50 quid in 1997, and I could not afford that. What was I in 1997? I was 15, So 14 when I saw this, and then 15 when I wanted to buy it. I had my first job, and 50 quid a week was what I earned. Well, 40 quid for the first time. Some of the dragon, yeah. That's sorry, Leveling. That's you're gonna have to do it in hearts and emotes now. This is the one I wanted, and I was like, oh, the forest ray is such a beautiful model. I really love it. That's why I want to do. I want that model. I want to work up to being able to paint it, and I never felt like I got to the level I could paint it. First of all, like personally, and secondly, I could never afford it. It was 50 quid then, and gradually it got more expensive, and now Games Workshop don't even make it, and I couldn't afford it anyway. 14 in 97. 1997. 97. So I was like, I was born in 82, so I would have turned 15. I was born in 82, sorry, and I would have turned 15 in 87, in 97. So it's, so, and I think, and I started my job before I started my job before my first job, before I got to turn my mic down a bit because it's peaking. Before I got into it, and then I know about this because I remember reading the Bretonian White Dwarf, which had full tilt on the front. As the game, you got a full tilt game in it, and this was in that White Dwarf. I wish I'd kept it. I don't think I have it. If I have it, it's at my mum's, but probably not because you know, it's a magazine for 30 years nearly. So anyway, I got this. I wanted this. It looks amazing, and I thought I'd never be able to paint it. Fast forward to me getting a 3D printer from the wonderful, wonderful Jason, and now this is sitting on my desk. He says, I have to zoom out, it's so big. This gorgeous guy is sitting on my desk now, ready to be undercoated and painted, and I'll show you for reals in a second how big he is. Look at it. It's just, so I even think this is a better model. Like, it's a nicer sculpt, it's more updated. And so on here, hopefully Friday we'll start it. What I'm going to do is off camera. I was hoping to start this channel with this, so I was hoping to start the live streams with this, but I didn't have. I ran out of time. I'll show you where we got to. Hopefully by Friday I'll have undercoated it and I'll have base coated it, and we can just start on the details. Because look at that gorgeous model. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. And there's a little right. You can't really see him, but down here there's a little rider, and he's the prince. But I'm keeping him off the. He'll go up here on the saddle. When you got the file, I'm really into 3D printing, by the way. I don't know if you know. When I got the file, it had choices. You could do it 32mm scale, 28mm scale. You could have it without a rider, with a rider, hollowed, non-hollowed. So this is hollow in here to keep the resin cost down. But I wanted a rider because I want to start a Wood Elf army again to either play one-page rules, 9th Age, or the new Warhammer Old World coming up. And so this guy is going to be the first model, and it is a gorgeous model. But let me show you what it actually looks like. By the way, you know, before I had all my shortcuts and everything, like if you followed me over from Twitch, you'll know that I have all these shortcuts and buttons and animations and stuff that all make perfect sense. But I have none of that. So everything is just like cutting away all the time. So it goes, where are you? Display capture. Boom. So I finished putting him together. He printed last night. I finished putting him together this morning. Here he is. I was hoping to undercoat him in time. This is the size of him. I'll hold it up here on my camera. Look, that's how big he is. Like the same size as mine. So he's massive. He's just sat on my desk. So far, I've got him stuck together on a. I used a little oval Warhammer base because it fits in a painting handle. Is actually the real reason for that. But look at him. He's just fantastic. Just absolutely lovely. And so far, I've based him, given him a little bit of just some Vallejo muddy texture to the base there, which I've also added to the tree and some of his underscales, so that when I paint him up, we're not having to, like, we've already painted him, we're not having to go in there with the texture to try and retexture it. Strip back experience, but maybe that. I don't mind it though, Dead Toothbrush. I don't mind it. I really don't mind it. I really quite like the strip back. I would rather have it is a rad model. Yeah, but and then here's the rider who you didn't really get a good look at before. And here he is. I'll zoom in on him because he's worth it. And so that's the giant dragon, and then we got this fantastic fella here, who is let's give him a little bit less light there. Who is just like a nice elven lord, and I've super glued him to a little square base just for old time's sake. And then he's not very well secure. It's just while I paint him, and then I'll just get the knife under between his feet and get rid of that, or I'll cut him out the base, and then we'll stick him on the top of the thing because I want to paint him separately. But look at how much nicer he's gonna look. So he stands on the back of it. Yeah. Anyway, that's the future. And then another project we're going to be working on. We are going to get to painting. I promise, people. I'm just very excited. I haven't seen you all week. That's the problem, isn't it? That's the problem. I'm really excited. I haven't seen you all week. The other things we're going to do is a 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse, which is because I just feel like it's very fitting for now. So these are a series of models, and say some nice things about him if he's not very secure. Yeah, you've got a lovely beard. You've got a lovely beard, Grimblegorn. Yeah. By the way, if you didn't hear last night, I did my last radio presenting for the BBC at the time. You know, it's not the last ever, but I did my last video games review, and it was the last thing I said was edible pants. So I'm pretty pleased with myself. Yeah. So these are the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. They're fantastic models. Let's I'll try and turn the light down a little bit so you can see a bit better. Look, they're just great little figures. They're a bit smaller than 28mm. They're like quite a bit, but they came as they came as a set, and there's 10 of these guys in the set, but I chose 4, and we're going to do a 4 Horsemen thing. They were so fragile and thin that when I did the curing for them on the 3D, look, you can see, even though it was only 2 minutes, it started to like burn. So yes, there you go. Lovely. There you go. And there's the other 2. So we'll be painting these as well as part of a 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse thing. There's a war. Who did I choose as war? There's a war, there's a plague, there's a famine. Where's war? War? Where are you? I think this one is war. Yeah, here you go. War with his mace. I thought war mace, because, you know, I think it just looks, it's more like damaging and one horn, I think, focused. So war there. Then plague here, who's got bandages all over his face and carries like a scythe, which I thought perfect for that. Famine was... which one's famine? Oh, famine's this one, because he's got a little skull on his shoulder, if you look here. And his horse looked sicker. And then famine, and what's the other one? What is he good for? Not playing Warhammer, he's too small. And then this one, war, famine, plague, death, and then death here with the backpack, because I felt like that was just, it fits quite nicely. So yeah, there you go. That's another project we're going to be working on. But today, like I said, Guardsman. Let's work on him. Hello, NeoGets. Hello, welcome to YouTube. It's right, right. I don't know why I started like that. Can we just appreciate that there is a massive change in quality when we go from Twitch to YouTube? Look at it. Pestilence, yes, it's a better one. Pestilence. Yeah, that's a better one. Yeah, okay. So, lovely model. We're gonna get started on him. I thought he had a lot of skin. He hasn't. He's just got a little bit. Like, I don't even think it's on his neck or anything. I don't know what we're going to even start with on this guy. He's supposed to be a rebel Imperial Guard leader, and I love it. He came with 2 options for basing. So you could either have a rock or a man underneath going, don't get me, don't. And I was like, oh no, I don't know if I want a dude under his foot, you know? Like, I don't know if I want a dude under his foot. So I went with the rock, just for like a nice, just for it not being horrible, you know? And sadly, I'm on phone as much as the visual is lost on me. It's all right, mate. It's all right. I don't know. All this effort Neo gets. What for? What's it for in the end? Yeah, so we're going to pay this guy and we're going to have a nice time with it. I'd like to get some reds on him, some browns. We're going to make sure all the skull areas are scully and not just metal or stuff. Some lovely hands and stuff and pipes. And look at this, just a gorgeous, gorgeous model. So we are going to, we're going to start with I want a darker brown, which is like a fleshy brown. And then that's going to be the base coat for the red. Daddy, no, don't stand on me. Yeah, that's it. I got the chains and the hooks. Are you ready? We're going to start with the brown. A lot of people these days, they start with just red. And I always think it's a dangerous thing. Is that even... doesn't look mixed right? Hang on a second. I think it's dangerous to start with red because red is a tough color to get right over black anyway. And when you start with red, you've got nowhere to go. You can't highlight red with red. That's the problem. You have to highlight red with yellow or white and then ink it down to get it back to red. But if you start with a brown, you can have the brown as the undercoat, like the base coat, and then you can highlight up with red rather than and leave it as a brown. So we want a rich brown to get it that's closer to red than it is to grey, because that's what brown is made up of normally. Is you usually have, if you highlight a brown, it's normally you add yellows, reds, and greys. Painting may be getting back into painting because it's now been a year. Getting back into painting has made me realise what colours are made up of, and brown is one of those ones that people are often like, oh, it's just every colour. And you can make brown that way, but it's actually more likely to be a red or a red or a grey with like a green in it or a blue in it. So that's where to keep that in mind when you start if you paint that. There's my tip. I don't know why I'm starting on the inside of the coat, but I just felt like sometimes that's what I want to do. I want to paint a model, and I want to paint a certain bit of it. And so because I want to paint that certain bit of it, that's where I start. And it's all going to get painted anyway. Sometimes it makes it harder for myself. Like sometimes I'm like, oh, I should have started with this bit. But in my head, I'll be milling around. No, that's all right. No, wait, I don't. That's the other thing. Mods don't have to do a lot on YouTube. Mods are technically, especially at my level, I don't know how much modding you'd have to be doing. Can I mod people on YouTube? I don't have to do it. Like, do I click on it? That does moderate. Yeah, there you go. There. You're apparently a managing moderator now.
Neo gets tipped me 5 with the message happy YouTube debut.
Thank you very much, Neo Gets. I appreciate that. I was wondering what the voice was. Just talking about modding Go, and then it was like happy Neo Gets a tipped you 5. Thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah, so with reds and stuff, it's always very, very hard to get nice. Hard to get flat. I got some other stuff to show you. Hang on. I did it over the weekend. Hang on. We'll get this brown on and I'll show you it. This is stuff I've painted. So we'll get this brown on first. And then we'll do some more. But yeah, I am if you play Warhammer and stuff, I have foolishly in one respect, but in another respect, excitedly, accepted an invite to start playing in a Warhammer 40,000 League. So I did a first few games of the new Warhammer edition, and it was a lot better than the last edition. I really got lost with. I kept wanting to start playing again, and I'd go and look at the rules and be like, no, these are stupid. And now the new rules are a lot more slimline. They're a lot less bloated. They make it flow. And so I thought, you know what? I like people. I will play with more people. And I've accepted an invite to go and play Warhammer in a Warhammer 40,000 League, which is lovely. But it does mean I have to paint some Warhammer 40,000. But and this isn't it. This is just a statue. So I will have to start painting my Tyranids again, which I ridiculously let drop. Got very excited about it and then stopped. Which is just, you know, so unlike me, isn't it, everyone? So unlike me. I think I moved to YouTube because I was on Twitch. I've been on Twitch for 3 years now. And it was good. And then I saw a lot of my favorite people disappearing and coming here. No, Dead Toothbrush, go look, mate. I think YouTube, that's what it's for. And I saw a lot of my favorite people coming over here, just because of the way Twitch is. And we've had to, and a few times on Twitch, happening more and more recently, unfortunately, we've had to stop the stream because the text side of it just, like, you can't, it just stops working, like it just keeps dropping, and I can't, you know, that's not any way to do professional stuff. So I want to give this a go and see if it works. I mean, you know, we're painting. It's not like we're doing anything mad. Oh, I've got bits of bark on it from earlier. But yeah, let me show you something I made over the weekend. While this all dries out nicely, just give it I can just see some little black dots that I need to do up. We've got to stay on stream for as long as possible. After this, I'm cleaning my I'm cleaning our storage room because it's dump day. So got to try and stay here for as long as possible. You guys have got to stay with me. Give me a reason to be here. Okay, right. We'll let all this dry. Well, and then we'll do some reds. But let me show you some things I made over the weekend. So I made a little Super Mario badge for myself over the weekend, which is great. But I can't ever make things in isolation, and I ended up being worried that I hadn't done enough for my friends. And I've got a little board gaming group, kind of nerd gaming group. We started with Dungeons and Dragons, and we moved into board games, and now we're kind of creeping into Magic the Gathering. And I've convinced them to try, although it hasn't happened yet, to try Necromunda. So we will be playing miniature games at some point, but each of them has very different interests. One of them is really into Star Wars, so I made this what's called a communication greeble. So this is the standard shape. If you have ever watched any Star Wars, this is the standard shape for a badge. Hey, Michael, for a badge they wear on Star Trek as like a non, so like a rebel or a civilian would wear this as like a communicator greeble. So this is what they do. They make this and then they make stuff around it. So I made it into like it's a little badge for him, so he can wear it. And I painted it up and weathered it so that it looked like it looked like an in-use one for a worker. I thought that was quite a nice one. And then another of my friends is really into Lord of the Rings. So I made him the sign for the prancing pony here. That's the sign for the pub. So these are all badges that I've made. They're all varnished as well. So I made that as the sign you see. This is the one from the movie, because obviously it's only described in the book. So I made the sign for the prancing pony for the guy who's really into Lord of the Rings. And then finally, Tom, who you know from here, is really into retro gaming and 8-bit gaming. But more importantly, right now, he's really into Legend of Zelda. He's really into TOTK. How is it? Not Breath of the Wild, but the really new Zelda game. He's really into it. I can't remember what it stands for. So I made a little 8-bit Link badge for him. This was actually the hardest to paint because the others, all the shapes were made out, but the shapes weren't. I had to paint on the shapes. You can see they're not done very straight at all. And it was fun, but it took the most time because look, I had to keep. You can see some of them are like blocks. Tears of the Kingdom, there you go. Some of them are blocks, and others are not so much blocks. But I just end up making things, and they're easy, but they shouldn't have taken as much time as they did. And I think I put I'll show you the Mario one if I can. But I don't know if I did. I don't know if I took a picture of it. That's the thing. I may have done though. I did not take a picture of it, so I apologize for that. But yeah, I made a. I think I put it on Twitter. So I see if I can find it on Twitter. I don't really want to go on Twitter. It's awful place to be. But let me just see if it's there. But I made myself like an 8-bit Super Mario one, and I was quite pleased with it. Let's go to it. It won't let me go to my own account, which is very frustrating. I'm not calling it X. You'll never get me to call it X. I'm never going to be the person that calls it X. Here you go, display capture. This is the there you go. It's my little Super Mario badge I made. So I was wearing that all day the other day. Absolutely had fun with that one. Made it for myself, not even for anyone else. Just me. You got to do that sometimes. You got to do that. You got to do that. Anyway, there you go. Just a little bit of that. I'm still going to be distracted. Just because it's YouTube doesn't mean I'm going to be more professional. You can't expect that of me. That's madness. You know I'm going to be just as distracted. But luckily, that lovely little distraction, I did do that. We will. I can see that there's some gaps in the brown down there. Just get this all. I want it smooth, basically. What we don't want to do is have it like a different shade, then paint on the red and it still be all washy. You want it to be nice. Washy like paint, not like my cat. Washy. Right, red. Let's get the red out. I'm not going to mix. It took me embarrassingly long to find the stream. Oh, Evil Artie. I did put it in our Discord. So I did put it in our Discord, and I think I also put it. I'm pretty sure I put it on Twitter. I did try to put it everywhere. This color just says red. What's this color? I've got some Vallejos that I was given. Oh, I don't like that. Ugh. The horrible red. What's this red? Dark red. Thank you for joining us, though. I do appreciate it. I'm glad that you're here. I'm quite surprised about how many of you jumped over. That is the same color, just called something else. All right, what's this one? Also dark red. I have a million of the same colors. Gory red. Let's look at gory red and see how that is. These are. That's more the color I want. So I can't have that as the base. You can see the differences. Look, that is red. That is dark red, and that's gory red. You'll see. I'll bring it up to the camera. You'll see. There's not a lot of difference between these two. This is the richness I want. That's why I was too. I'm so sorry. We're gonna put. I don't want wine red, dirty red. We're gonna put some. Oh, I need some more of this already. I'm gonna put some dark red on here, which is a wine red. You can see. These are. Oh, that's even lighter. Maybe I need to do it the other way around. Okay, cool. We're living and learning. I'm gonna have a sip of water. I know Lima Link can't tell me to have water now, but there you go. Yeah, so Auntie, this is just a bit more chilled. There's less going off all over the place. More just us having a bit of a chat, but also it's more about the painting and less about the the widgets. I have a very slow brain today. That's okay. It's not a bad thing, and it's good to admit it. But I appreciate you coming in and joining me, especially on the first day. I wasn't sure about it. Like I said, we've done YouTube a couple of times. I've tried it with gaming and stuff. I just don't think gaming is my forte when it comes to streaming. I think it's this. Like, I very much think that painting and geekery is my thing. Oh, I'll just scream water, yeah, stretch. Like that, yeah. Do you want to hear that I wrote? Did I tell you that I wrote? I didn't say it yet. I wrote a roleplay game on Sunday. I'm playing it with, like, I wrote a whole roleplay game with rules. Would you like to hear it? As in a tabletop roleplay game, not as in like a sexy roleplay game. If you don't, that's fine. But would you like to hear my roleplay game? we're going to play it on Sunday. So my group that I play with, I play a modern version of D&D on on every other Sunday with my friends. So Evil Auntie, yeah, I don't think I don't even have 100 people who like this yet, but I figure it'll be. I'm gonna start putting videos up, and I want to start doing tutorials and all sorts. I tried to start it before, but with Twitch as well, it's quite hard to get the time. And with this, I can just do it, and then I can put up a tutorial for it, and that'd be great. Yeah. So it basically, it's a whole roleplay game. Really, really, really easy rules. I will start off by saying the point of the game is that each session can be played in one night, and as in it can be played in one session. It's not designed for multiple sessions unless you want to. It's very, very adaptable, and it's designed for very, very, very minimal prep. The whole point of it is for people like me who lose interest in stuff fast, but also have a lot of stuff going on in your life, and so you want to play a game, but you don't want to have a lot of rules to learn, and your DM doesn't want to have a lot of prep to do. So the channel already looks really nice. Thank you very much, Evil Auntie. So I'll read the instead of me trying to do this, I'll read the fluff for it. Okay? So I read the fluff. And here is the fluff. Okay? So the game is currently called The Dentists. Okay? So here's the little fluff for it. You died. You remember that vividly. You died, and there was a bright light, a heavenly chorus, clouds opening up, and then you met an angel. Well, that's what you thought at the time, but it turned out that the angel was in fact a multi-dimensional, extra-universal entrepreneur called Anton Lesonge, with a flair for the dramatic, who recruits specialists at the moment of their death. You were given the choice to go through with your death, end everything right there, and then, or become a dentist like Anton, and see what infinity really is. Could have been the impending doom, could have been the shock, could have been Anton's awful fashion sense, but something made you agree and follow the garish weirdo into the light. Now you help other dentists with extractions, getting rid of pesky treasure hunters, would-be heroes, nosy government agents, and gods knows what else in infinite realities, wielding strange and dangerous equipment, while Anton guides you through the magical dungeons, underground bank vaults, dystopian hive cities, and countless other impossible places, using only pop music and movie quotes. Don't worry, it's even crazier than it sounds. So, the base premise is you are a specialist who died in your reality, in whatever your universe reality was. And it could be, and there's infinite realities, there's infinite universes, and you died in that place. But at the moment of your death, you were recruited by Anton Lesonge to, instead of die, go through with him to his place called the surgery, where you will be helping other people like yourself to essentially stop the heroes. So your job is to stop characters from doing their job. But it could be in any universe. So Anton Lesonge just takes clients, and then he picks a team and he gets them to do it. So you're the team. You choose a character, make a character. You pick the team, and he picks the team and sends you through to a different reality. And it could be any kind of reality. It could be a fantasy world, like you could be going into a dungeon and fighting, getting through traps. Because the rich people that hire him, and the leeches and wizards, and cyber corporations and stuff, a lot of them don't know what's in these dungeons and bank vaults. They've just paid someone to make them for them, and now they've got someone going down there being all annoying and messing with their stuff, and they send you down, but they're like, look, I don't know what's down there. You're just going to have to deal with whatever comes up. So you go down, and you're faced with all the same kind of traps that players would, player characters would, but you're also, the big bad at the end is player characters. So in a fantasy world, you'd face like the paladins, the rangers, the fighters, the rogues, you know, all of that. And in a cyberpunk world, you'd have the cyberpunk gang that has been trying to stop the big corporation from doing bad, horrible things, but you're the team hired to do it. But you're hired from this place, the surgery, which is out of time and out of reality. And you can only take weapons and equipment that are suitable for that reality. So when you jump in, if you're in a fantasy realm, you can't take a machine gun, but you'd have to take a crossbow or something like that. And you don't level up because everything is done on the same day, and everything is it's all one session of the multi-dimensional weirdo. Oh wait, wait a second, Evil Auntie, because I the reason this has become so big is because I had 2 hours in a car and I spoke to myself as Anton Lesonge for 2 hours. He talks like, "Oh, darling, you're going to be going into a very dangerous reality. Now, I know it sounds bad, but what could be worse? Going back and dying in your own. Now, our client is some kind of lychee, lishy, something like that. Something to do with a big old gem that you have to go and capture, but you have to stop these pesky heroes." So I was talking to myself like that, but you go through and you get like to choose weapons and stuff in the surgery, and then you go to the reality. And but as soon as you get into the reality that you are jumping into, the universe, the world, Anton can no longer communicate with you directly. The only way he can communicate with you is by using things that are already in that reality. So you have to take through these little things he calls sound boxes, and they're basically MP3 players that contain music, and they have music and movie quotes on them, and that's how he tells you how to take down enemies. So if, for example, you got to a chasm and it was a puzzle, and he was like, and you were like, "How do we get across this?" He would play on your soundbox something like Van Halen's "Jump," you know, like that. That would, so that just get jump. That's what he'd play, so that you'd get that in the game, and that would be your clue. And it's all pop references, and so then he does it for weaknesses as well. So if you came across a creature and you were like, "Anton, how do we fight this guy?" And then you'd hear wow 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 like coming through your little soundbox, being like, "I'm a fire starter, twisted fire starter," and then that's like the fight music. But it also gives you a hint at what you do to when get to the chopper, yeah, and how you beat them easily. So it's all of this whole thing where it's very much focused on like having fun and it being funny. You don't pre-generate a dungeon or the area. I've only got one of these for fantasy, so I'm going to use it for fantasy, and then make one of myself for all the other types. But the dungeon is generated randomly with these. So you're like, right, so you land and you are in a crypt at a dead end. On the floor is, and you can like, that's all you do. So that's what you see from there. And then I put that down. That's the first bit. And then the next bit I draw is this. It's it says here, bridges at precipice steps. So that is the next room. And I describe it. And then the ST, the storyteller, is something called a fixer. The fixer decides on what's in there, what happens. It's all done on the fly. It's all, you've got to do a bit of prep, you know, you've got to have a playlist, you've got to have something to fight, but it's all done through that. And the dice system is even easier. It's all done with just D6s. The number next to the skill, be it strength, toughness, whatever, is the number of dice you roll. You got to get a 3 up for it to work. You have to have a number of successes, kill someone, etc., etc. Very, very basic, very easy, all controlled by the fixer. Thought it up all on Sunday. All was like, has big Grant Howitt. Yeah. I love Grant Howitt. really big fan of so I'm going to be running Heart soon for some people, and Heart and Spire, which are some of my absolute favorites. But yeah, that's it. Oh darling, you look absolutely famished. So everyone gets a med kit so that when they're like close to death, the med kit gives them all their health back. But there are other ways to get health, but it's not, you don't know, you don't level up. You don't level up. You get loot. So you get better armor, which takes dice away from people attacking you. You get better weapons, which grant dice. You can, when you talk to Anton at the beginning, before you jump into the reality, you say, Anton, what I want is, I want a gun with a weird effect. Come on, we're going into this fantasy reality. I want a gun with a magic effect. I want a weapon with a magic effect. He'll be like, I found this sword while we were down one time when I was down there about 150 years ago. I think what it does is it does moderate damage, but every third time it hits someone, it turns them into a frog. And that's like it's just chaos and fun and ease and just having a bit of a laugh, really. And just everything is that. But also you can decide. So not everything is like used. So there's 5 skills and 5 stats and 10 skills. And you can use them how you like to get through a situation, including fighting. So one of the skills is fighting. But if you think that you'd be better off using forensics or something like that to do it, so forensic, because you would know exactly where to hit someone, you can do that instead. But you have to justify it through a little bit of storytelling. So it's like entirely improv. You can tell I'm very excited about it. Current hyperfixation. But yeah, I literally wrote that on Sunday in the car and was like, this is good. And then I made a sheet for it, like a really bad character sheet. I got my regular D&D group to agree to try it on Sunday, and it's just but yeah, the other way you can do it, because it can be played where if the DM hasn't prepared, like Anton, because he is very flaky. Anton's flaky as hell. If the DM hasn't had time to prepare, the fixer hasn't had time to prepare, what you can do is play using other people's playlists. So the group can give you their playlists, and you, as the fixer, have to choose which songs and things on the playlist would help them out the most in given situations. And they have to work out what the clue is that you're giving them using that. So I just love... My big problem with things like D&D is there's so many rules and so much fluff and so many things that contradict each other or are the same as other stuff. It just weighs it down, and it's so hard. Ride that hyperfixation wave. You got it, man. You got it. It just means that the game becomes unpleasant for a dungeon master. Like, it's just so hard to run that no one wants to do it. Whereas if you're like me and you just want something easy, this is like that. This is that. There's no resisting. There's just hitting. Like, if armor takes dice away, weapons give dice. It's all very easy. None of it is hard. It's all very much designed to be like you can learn the rules within 10 minutes, and then that's it. Everyone starts with 10 hit points. You never get more than 10 hit points. You do meet creatures with more hit points, but those creatures are massive and probably something that you probably wouldn't fight them. Like, this is something I get annoyed with D&D. You see a dragon, and your first instinct shouldn't be, I will run at it with an axe. It should be, what kind of trap can we set for this? What can we do to think around this? Rather than How can I punch this hard enough that it's dead? You need to think around this. It's a dragon. You should be thinking around this, you know. But yeah, so that was it. That's my roleplay that I invented myself. That I'm quite proud of at the moment. Looking forward to it. Is that going to be red as well? Is it going to be brown? I think there's going to be some red up here. You see, so see what I mean? That red's really nice and rich now. Really nice. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the numbery bits. I'm using stream beats, by the way, so just because I know it's safe. We'll see what YouTube says that. YouTube loves a copyright strike. It's like as soon as it can. But yeah, that's what I was working on. So this is what happens if I've got like an active brain. And then like today, no creativity. Like my brain's just frazzled. It's like it went, I got this thing for you, but the payoff is you won't be able to think for the next couple of days. Is that all right? Cool. Write it down, Chris. Write it down. Yeah. I just think that you should make a game. Also, you get to roll like loads of dice. I think that's nice as well. And it doesn't matter who you are. I don't know a single person who doesn't have 6-sided dice at home. You know? But yeah, I'm going to run it. And then if it's good, if we enjoy it, I'm going to write it and get some proper like rules written up for it and make it a bit more real. And I'll release it. I'll release it as an actual game. It needs a better name. At the moment, it's called I don't mind them. I like them being called the Dentists, and the surgery. But I think it needs a proper name. It was going to be called "Are We the Baddies?" Like it was. That's what the name of it was going to be. My favorite, where you have two stats: bear and criminal. They can go up or down, and if they go too high, you become all bear or all criminal and quit the team. I like that too. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Yeah, I'm really loving the stream, by the way. Thank you very much for joining me here on YouTube today. I'm really loving it. It's really nice. Super chilled. Super. I mean, it has to be, really, doesn't it? It has to be super chilled. I really get a choice. It's super chill or it's not super chill. That's it. I'm going to do his jacket brown, but I want to do the... Not Jackie Brown, jacket brown. I'm going to do his jacket brown, but I want to do the red on it first. Yeah, the health system on mine is just literally 10 points. So characters, your player characters hit and do damage on 3-ups. Then your non-player characters do it on 4-ups. Just so that it like shows that you are an expert and they're not. And that's it, really. To Ren, all the Ren, and not able to focus on it. To be needing to watch all the Ren. What's Ren? It's alright, mate. You don't have to hang around here if you've got other things to do, leave a link. I'm not obligatory. Should never feel obliged to be here. Is Ren like yeah, I don't know what it is actually. Oh, shall I tell you what? I got Netflix back over the weekend because we wanted to watch some things on it, and I'm really enjoying watching Survival of the Thickest on there, which is I thought was like a reality TV show, and it's just actually just a sitcom with a really great cast, really good premise, and we're rewatching Good Omens 1, Series 1, because Lucy's never watched it. And we need to have watched Good Omens 1. So we're watching Good Omens 1 at the moment, so that she can get through that with us, you know. I think I'm going to do all the silvery bits. Then they're done, aren't they? If I do all the silvery bits, then I can paint around them. Silver is such a pain. Hey, PG is not obligatory or any kind of Tory. No, you're right, exactly. Renner, oh, a British artist. Oh, what kind of artist? I hope they're good. I know they're going to be good. I'm just being silly. Oh no, don't break. I'm just dropping things on that nice dragon I've just made. Why are you being such a pain over here? Not you lot. It's my palette. Here you go. It's my metallic. So I can do metallic. Gunmetal. I don't want to do metallics on my wet palette because it'll just go everywhere. Do 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 do. Yeah, I've fallen heavily back into my geek ways now. I mean, here we are doing painting of Warhammer things, but more importantly, I got some MTG decks. I got back into like video game, like geeky video games rather than just my things. We're playing Vermintide 2 tonight. That's going to be amazing. Blood Bowl, which I didn't think I'd like. It's also good for helping the shows to get. Oh, okay, cool. Well, we're watching good show. We're watching it again. I'd forgotten how good it was, and also watching it second time round. Evil Auntie is helping me see little references I hadn't seen the first time around. You know. Oh, I didn't realize that it's hold eggs. This makes it so much easier. All silver. It's really hard to put green. There's a lot of wrap in it. He's really good. So, oh, okay. Liam, I'll check it out at some point. I'm not going to check it out on the stream just because I'm trying not to do that now. I'm trying not to like do anything but talk to you and paint. But I will check it out afterwards. The thing is, we can't raid. That's the only thing I keep thinking about. Is after this, I can't like raid to someone else. It's just over. And raiding was one of the things I really like about. I think that it's something that no worries. Don't understand who can live without it. Yeah, well, exactly. Well, you kind of. I'll tell you what happens, Evil Auntie. No worries, Michael. No, I'll tell you what happens. Iran is a 9-minute video. Okay, well I'll check that out after. When I've got 9 minutes. I'll tell you what happens is you just become like a shell. You just become like not you. You can't help it if you're a geek. You just end up being a geek. It's just in your body, in your bones. And then trying to avoid it and trying to pretend it's not in your bones and in your body makes it hard to function, you know? There's not much in the world. If you're a geek and you stay away from geek things, there's not much in the world for you. You know? What are you doing? You're trying to turn that geek thing into a sport? It's not like that. It's not transferable. You end up becoming one of those boring people. Can't imagine. I saw a poster the other night that said, I'm not too loud, you're just boring. And I was like, oh yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's exactly what I think. like Evil Auntie said, we does anyway, you know. I will look up this Ren after this. You could watch that. This is going to be a very basic paint job in the end. So I put like, yeah, exactly. I don't really, but there's sometimes when I watch people who are younger than me and they're able to like comics, and I just want to be like, we knelt so you could run, you know, we walked so you could run. It's like I don't know how much you know how much I got bullied just for liking comics. I was saying we were watching Good Omens last night, and I was saying to my family that like the main, I remember picking up, this is how vivid it was, and reading Good Omens for the first time. Neil Gaiman, Terry Pratchett, I'd sort of heard of them a bit, but not anywhere else. And I picked it up and read it, and it was because I was alone and unable to talk to anyone, and I was in the library, and I needed something to do on my lunch break because I just had nothing else to do. And I think that a lot of geeks and nerds have exactly the same like experiences. You know, they have a lot of those kind of I was going to do all this silver, but I might not do that because it'll just make it look a bit rubbish. They have a lot of that kind of thing, don't they, where when they're at school it was all very much feeling a bit outcast and stuff, and now that kind of stuff is like mainstream. I knew it would. Like when I was a kid, I knew it would. I was so sure. I was like, one day, all of this, people are going to love Warhammer one day. It's happened. It's become mainstream. You know, they're a big business now. Massive computer games and video game and like other stuff. And people are going to love. Yeah, it has become automated like a grumpy old fart. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It makes me feel a bit like that as well. But I say that like in a jokey way because really, I'm just glad that they don't have to deal with that kind of stuff. I'm gonna make his glove red as well. I think that's what we're gonna go with. I want to keep a consistent color scheme, but at the same time, I don't want everything to be metal. So we're going to paint it like it's been painted. And then we'll do some chips and stuff on it to make it a bit more. And bits of it will be metal. I'll do like the chains on it metal. I think the fingers are going to be metal. But these bits, I think, are going to be red. Like factory painted. Yeah, I can't believe how geeky the world became. You know, it's teenage Chris. Teenage Chris has got it going on. Teenage Chris is sitting inside me amazed at how many superhero movies there are that are good. You know? This is what blows my mind is people are like, oh, this new superhero movie isn't good. And I'm like, yeah, but it's out and it's, have you seen the original Flash movie? Have you seen the Fantastic Four? Oh my God, Fantastic Four was like, it was basically what we had. Have you seen it? Original Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire was where it all started, and then Iron Man, and suddenly we're off. But it took years. It took years. Have you seen The Incredible Hulk? Have you seen some of the Supermans? They're just not great. I mean, DC isn't a great example anyway, but it's getting better. It's getting better. But people are like, I can't watch another superhero movie. I'm like, you didn't watch. No, Evil Auntie, I haven't. I have not. No, like I said, we are watching season 1 again because Lucy hasn't seen season 1 and we want to make sure that we're all on the same page and then we'll watch it together. So no spoilers in the chat, please. No spoilers in the chat. But I'm excited about it. I worry about it because I've seen your messages and I've seen other people's messages about the changes, and I'm not. But it's with. Thing is, I think you can stray from source material, and that's fine. And in fact, you should. I do not think you should be making a TV show that is the same as the book because it won't work. The same as I don't think you should make a film the same as the TV show. It doesn't work. I think Serenity did a really good with Buffy and Serenity. They did a really good. Sorry, not Buffy. With Serenity and Firefly, they obviously did a quite good job of making the transition from like movie to film, and I thought that was good. Little Kid would have given my left ear for just a few. Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's oversaturated, mate. You're bloody lucky it's oversaturated. Do you know what we went through? No spoilers. But I think it's. I just think it's brilliant. I'm so happy for my kids to get through. Mine are. I've made mine geeks, and one of them isn't even that much of a geek. They're just like the same, and that's how it is nowadays. You know, you can like Good Omens and superhero movies and things like that, and it doesn't make you necessarily a geek. Oh, I don't like this. I have to do red in between. Chris, you silly goose. No spoilers. No spoilers in chat. Yeah, I haven't seen it. We will. We're very excited about it. We've got so many good ones we want to see. New series of Shadow and Bone. I don't care who you are. I really liked the first series of Shadow and Bone until the last episode. We got that to catch up on. What else is there that we've got to catch up on? I'm rewatching Loki because I have just seen the trailer for the new Loki series that's coming out. That looks great. And I didn't mean to. It's I didn't mean that, Evil Auntie. I just mean like I've seen it and I've been like, no, don't form an opinion yet. Don't form an opinion yet. Let's just watch it first. Let's watch it first. Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. Just checking to make sure that everything's still working. It's so weird. Twitch, I'm always a bit like, oh, something bad's gonna happen, and it doesn't here. Oh, it's weirdly, I've just had a message saying Shooter's Blood and Teeth is half price. I'm not gonna buy that, but it's nice to know. Good on to think of us. Yeah. So. I don't know what I'm going to do with the rest of this. His collar is needs to be more red. More red. October's we get, and probably, yeah, we don't know. They've kept Our Flag Means Death. They've kept it very quiet, haven't they? Big fan of. I've watched it twice already. I need to watch more. I'll watch it again, but I'd really like, so with Our Flag Means Death, I would really like it to be like Ted Lasso, where instead of them trying to keep drawing it out and doing another series and another series and another series, they do 3 series and each series builds on the last series, but it finishes, you know, so that you're not left there going, oh, it's dragging out, like it doesn't become Friends basically. And a new Murderbot. Oh yeah, I remember you telling me about Murderbot. So yeah, I hope that's what it is anyway. You never know what it's going to be, do you? You never know. Yeah, so thank you everyone for joining me. This is really nice. First YouTube one, and if we've got a bunch of us here every time, it's going to be very nice to just chill and talk and know that this channel is going to grow and grow. I'm reading something called The Library of Char, I think it's called. Let me look it up. Hang on. I'm just going to, before I put any red on, I'll finish the paint on my brush and then I'll look it up. I think it's called The Library of Char. I was reading, I think Planners of 3 Sisters. Yeah, so I prefer that. What am I reading? It's a really good book, to be fair. The Library of the Library of begins with C. Char. Oh, yes. Okay, so it's called the library at Mount Char. That's what I'm reading at the moment. And here's the Wikipedia entry. The plot. I'm not going to give the plot summary. No, I don't want that. I want the back of it. No. Right, here you go. So I've looked at it. This is on Amazon. Neil Gaiman meets Joe Hill, that's Stephen King's son, in this astonishingly original, terrifying and darkly funny contemporary fantasy. Carolyn's not so different from the other human beings around her. She's sure of it. She likes guacamole and cigarettes and steak. She knows how to use a phone. She even remembers what clothes are for. After all, she was a normal American herself once. That was a long time ago, of course. Before that time she calls Adoption Day, when she and a dozen other children found themselves being raised by a man they learned to call Father. Father could do strange things. He could call light from darkness. Sometimes he raised the dead, and when he was disobeyed, the consequences were terrible. In the years since, Father took her in. Carolyn hasn't got out much. Instead, she and her adopting siblings. Basically, it sounds really weird, but it's essentially what happens is there's 12 of these kids. They're not kids anymore when you catch up with them. They get adopted by this guy called Father, who it looks like is like an immortal being. And he says that each of them has to learn a specific area of his library. And those areas are like death or languages or war. And so each of them, like the main character Carolyn, speaks all of the languages that ever existed. She could even talk to like creatures and animals. And it's very, very good. So far, I've really enjoyed it. I think I'm about 20% of the way in. But it's also a bit dark. And there's too many questions at the moment. Like I'm really, because it's not really far into it yet, there's so many questions. But yeah, if you like that kind of dark fantasy setting, I fully recommend it for you. I haven't really, I tried to get into Talking to the Dead, which is another series, but it was more teen fiction. I have a real trouble with teen fiction. I love reading, but if you oversimplify things for me, or I think there's too many tropes, it's just because I've read so many books. I think it's the same for anyone who's read for ages. I just don't like it anymore, you know? I'm like, yeah, okay, I get the plot, stop. Okay, it's too basic for me now. I need to have a little bit of, let me have a little bit of mystery. A little bit of mystery. Let me do some of the work. And the Talking to the Dead was like, oh, maybe it wasn't called. Anyway, was just like, I don't know. It was like a random smattering of things that happened to this person who was young, and that's it. But the library at Char House or Char Hill is very good, but it's very dark, like very dark from the beginning. It's quite accurate when it says it's quite Neil Gaiman. It feels very Neil Gaiman-y. If you've ever read Smoke and Mirrors or Fragile Things, you know the anthologies of short stories he's written, it's like that kind of feel, like very dark vibe, rather than it being there's not much hope in it, you know? You're not sitting there going, oh, I wonder if it's going to be okay. You're like, this is going to get really bad really quick, and I need to see how that happens. A lot of people have died. I'm only like 20% of the way in, so. And no spoilers because it's right on the first page. The kids are like, there's a tragedy, and all of the kids in the neighborhood survive, but all the parents die. I'm pretty sure that Father did that, the guy that adopted them, but it doesn't say that anywhere. But it's not even intimated, but it is, or suggested. But I'm pretty sure he did. I think you'll like it. I think if you are here watching this, you'll like it. I can absolutely see you being the kind of person who'd like it. Listening to my nerdy rambles. Nerdy ramble. Nerdy ramble is my rap name. Next up, Nerdy Rambles with his new song, Optimus Prime is my father figure. Yeah, went and download sample. Yeah, good choice. Go do it. Give it a go. You might not like it, but tell me what you think either way, Evil Auntie. I want to know if I'm in the right vibe. It feels quite Old Gods of Appalachia as well. If you've listened to any of the Old Gods of Appalachia, if you've listened to any of that, it's got that same kind of vibe. Very, very dark. It's okay. We're gonna weather this up in a minute, and then we'll put silver on it. That's when we're gonna weather it up. Some silvers. Yeah, so thank you for stopping by. Nerdy Rambles, yeah. Nerdy Rambles in the house! That's how I do it. That's how I roll. It's just too much. I've made the mistake of wearing a hoodie in a room that was already 20 degrees because it's summer in England, but it's raining. It was already 20 degrees. And then has a computer on in it. Yeah, it's got a so if you love Old Gods, you'll probably like this. It's very got that kind of vibe to it. American Gods, Old Gods of Appalachia. Obviously, a lot of the appeal of Old Gods of Appalachia is the narrator, who is just fantastic. But yeah, it's you'll get you'll know what I'm talking about immediately. You'll get. Right, so this red that we've been painting all over this claw, on here we don't want to. We're going to take it up with a yellow to make it rich, but we're not going to do that on the claw. Instead, we're going to take it down with a brown. Take it down with brown. I'm going to give it a brown ink because we want it to make it look more stark. Where did I put all my inks? There they are. Hey, why are there only 4 of them? Oh yeah. Like, I know this is Stream Beats. I like the idea of Harris Heller just sat making all of these because obviously he's a musician, but he has to make a whole album with one theme. Obviously this one, you can feel the very Asian inspired theme, but he could be like, right, okay, dun, 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 dun. Right, I need another one. Dun, dun, dun. Like trying to get the same kind of thing again. By the way, if you are a horror fantasy fan, I would recommend going and checking out Old Gods because Old Gods of Appalachia is incredible as a podcast for horror fans. And terrifying, by the way. Terrifying. Not just like a good horror, but absolutely scary. Where I did not find the Magnus Archives scary ever, I just found it a bit creepy. It is terrifying. Old Gods is terrifying. Sometimes I'm listening and I'm like, oh dear. Oh no. Oh no. You know? Why do I find it calmer here? Why isn't it like, why am I not as worried as on YouTube, as on Twitch? Is it because I don't have as many gadgets here? Do you think that's what it is? I mean, it's not like we've had a bunch of new watchers drop in and be like, hey, we discovered you because you're on YouTube. It's not like, there's no like significant difference with regard to that. But, see what I mean? It's richer, 'cause it's brown. I'm not doing that now. Not doing that now. We're going to take that up with a yellow and then bring it back down with another red. So it'll look very pretty. And we're going to put a black wash over the silvers. Nuln oil. When you really, really, really need to have talent, but really, really don't want to have to practice. Not even washing this down. Straight over the top. Outstanding. Yeah, oh God, is outstanding. Like you introduced me to Magnus Archives, Evil Auntie, and I really like Magnus Archives, but it did not consistently deliver. Sometimes it felt like, you know, sometimes it felt like they were, because they had to do one every week, they were like, quickly, we've got to get a story out. But with oh gods, every single episode just feels like a blooming nightmare epic. I love it. Sorry, my watch went off then. I thought, wonder what it was, and it was my Finch. If you're still doing Finch, I'm still doing Finch as well. I think Finch is great, by the way. If you are someone who struggles with mental health issues, much like myself, Finch is great. Really, really helped me get my it's a really good way of doing tasks. A really good way of planning your day with rewards. I'm still doing it years later. I can't remember how many days in a row it is now, but it's a lot. But this month is sports, and I have really no idea what to do with that. For those of you that don't know what Finch is a little app. You have a creature who you bring up and who goes on travels, and it helps you do a task list for the day, and that task list can be anything you want it to be. But that gives you rewards like clothes and accessories for the little guy. It's like a Tamagotchi that helps with your mental health. Okay. Instead of taking away from it like a real Tamagotchi does. Yeah, it's really good to have you here. I've gone for a very, very, very basic scheme for this because I want it to look nice. I want to be able to focus on the colors we're doing rather than the give up a Finch. It was super slow phone. Well, Evil Auntie, that's annoying. It's a shame. I mean, you have to do what's right though. You can't just try and do something just because someone else says it's good. Mine's fine. I do mine all the time, but other people I know other people have done like growing tree ones and stuff, and they've been great as well. But Finch is the first one I've stuck to. That's why I sing its praises. I do not stick to things. So big fan of it when it works. This is a scaled up model, and I do not know how I would have painted this at the size it's really supposed to be at. Because it is just absolutely insane. Like, ridiculous. Look at it. That was like guns on it. Like, the details are great, but can you imagine? Oh my god. Yeah, I found that as well. Evil Auntie. Put some oil on this. I never find any of those apps very useful, but Finch really, really helped. To be honest, a bit more of an oiliness. Then we'll do it again on the bottom. We've put some black on, but we're going to put some brown as well to give it a bit more of a, like this. It's obviously dirt. Yeah, so thank you very much. This is lovely to do. I agree, Finchy said. How would, although it's, oh yeah, I'll show you. We can go. I'll just put this on here. This on here. Just want to make it a bit dirtier because it's, the black is good, but it's supposed to, the black wash is good, but it makes it look too clean for my liking. I prefer it to look a bit rustier. There you go. Right. You can see what I mean. If I show you, it's good, great detail. I love it. Like, I want a detailed model, but I have no idea how I would have. Obviously, I've changed the gun, so the gun was a bit different on the other. But how would I have painted that? Quicker, I think, is the answer to that. But I just don't know. Look at it. So the detail's all there. But I mean, look, I've broken off one of the top bits by accident. That's how the detail is that I didn't even know I'd broken off the top bit on this because I was like, I can't see it. You know, my brain didn't see it. Oh, there you go. Right. You lot, I'm going to end the stream there because it's been an hour and a half and this was a lovely little experiment and that needs to dry and I've had a lovely, lovely time. But I will be back on Friday. I don't have another screen. There's just this screen at the moment. I'll be back on Friday, hopefully with a dragon that we're going to be doing. I hope you'll be rejoining me then for another little live stream on YouTube to keep this experiment going because I know that this has been really nice for me and I hope it's been just as nice for you. And I've been PapaGlitch. I'll keep that music on actually. I've been PapaGlitch and you've been absolutely lovely. I hope that you have a good day. Yeah, have a good day, everyone. And hopefully I will see you Friday, 12 p.m. for a longer stream where we're gonna do a deep dive and get this guy going and get him done. See you on Friday, everyone. Have an absolutely lovely time. Bye.